Unfortunately, I don't. Pretty blurry from here, but I'm gonna try to insert a picture so that you can see how it actually looks. I tried this technique of taking a picture of it and then editing the picture. And I like the way the edited picture looked better than the actual painting in real life. I just turned the contrast down and that made it look a little bit more interesting, a little bit more cohesive. And so I thought, let me just add some gray. Maybe that would make it have less contrast, look similar to the edited picture, but just made it really gray. I don't know, it's not bad. I think it's progress. I'm trying to just paint, 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 and not think too much about it. Make as much paintings as I can because it's being productive. I just think that I'll get better. The more I paint, obviously, the more you practice something, the more you get better at it. And I'm a painter, so I should paint. I should not just sit around and wait for like a genius idea to come to me and then I paint it and then it's perfect. Like that's not how it works. I need to just be making things. Also telling myself that like I'm an artist. That's just something that I should always be doing in terms of working. I don't need to wait until I'm working at said company in order to be making art. I can just make art. I'm hoping to fill up this wall with a bunch of paintings and hopefully they get better the more this wall fills up. And I think just looking at it is like motivation for myself, a reminder to myself that this is what I do and that I'm in control of what I do in a way. I don't know. I just like having it up on the wall. I'm hoping also to film more like content. I placed an order for a tripod setup for me to put my phone on so I could like film myself as I'm painting because the mechanism that I have set up right now is just always falling down. It makes it harder to, it's just annoying to work with the phone constantly falling down in your hand. I always really like surrealism, and I found myself trying to make surrealism art, make something that has some type of deeper meaning to it, very symbolic. I like art like that, but then when I try to draw them, it feels like forced. It doesn't feel subtle. I try to change my strategy with coming up with paintings with just painting the things that I think look good and then insert some meaning into it, but just focus on one step at a time, making the painting look good. And right now, I like a lot of sparkles and florals. I like portraits, landscapes, so incorporating more landscapes. And these are subjects that I've avoided because I just felt like it wasn't serious enough. I felt like it was just boring or wasn't meaningful, but everything has meaning to it, even if I'm not intentionally putting meaning into this piece or the scene, even if it's just a random landscape. If it's a landscape from where I'm currently living or a landscape from back home or a place that I've actually been, it automatically has some meaning to it. Or if it's just a place that I want to go to, that puts some meaning into the painting. That's what adds the meaning to my paintings. And it may not be super deep right now, but like as I continue to work, maybe they'll have more depth to them as far as subject matter. I didn't even know I had this much vocal fry, but I notice when I'm talking to other people, I force myself to put a bit more energy and volume into my voice so it doesn't sound like this. Usually that ends up on some days where I have to talk a lot or when I'm at a job where I have to talk to a lot of different people in one day, like I notice at the end of the day, like my voice is gone, like my throat is sore. It feels so painful. I remember days when I had to work as a tour guide. By the time I got home at the end of the day, like my throat was sore. And yes, I talked a lot that day, but I don't think I talked enough. I wasn't even raising my voice for my voice to be completely gone, for my throat to be sore. And it's like I have developed this really bad habit of speaking, or maybe this is just my natural voice because my habit is that I force myself to add more volume to my voice and project it and speak a little bit higher when I'm speaking with other people. But sitting down here and just speaking to the camera casually, my voice is just filming these videos is the most that I've heard myself speaking like this. I've just realized, like, whoa, this is my voice. Is there a way to change it? Maybe if I train myself to comfortably speak at a louder volume with less vocal fry. But like I said before, other times when I've had to do it at work, it hurt. It physically hurt. I was in school and I tried to do like an old school vlog, day in the life of an art student. Never remembered to film the rest of the day. Did not remember. Today I was gonna film what I eat in a day. Thought about it, went in the kitchen, made my food, ate it, and I was like, oh, I didn't film any of that. Why didn't I film like that? I'm gonna try to remember to film myself making this soup. I found the recipe online. It's kimchi stew. Don't know if I'm making it properly because I don't have all the ingredients, but and it's the kind of recipe where it seems like everybody makes it a little bit differently. Last time I made it, I didn't have that much stuff in it, but now I have a few more ingredients, so I'm gonna make that tonight. Hopefully, I have the energy to do that. I think it'll go nice with the season finale of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I'm not even like super excited to watch it. It's really the only thing interesting on right now for me to watch. And it's so crazy that that's the first like video I posted on my YouTube channel of me talking to the camera is about the summer that I turned pretty. And it gives the impression that I really like the show, but I don't even want to say that I'm hate watching it, but I don't hate it. I like it, but it's not the greatest show ever. And it's really rare for me to find a romance show nowadays that actually holds my attention that I want to watch to the end. The show holds my attention. I'm really a K-drama girl. I had a huge K-drama phase and then I fell off on the K-dramas because the stories they started to change. There's just something different about the old school. I don't know if it's nostalgia, but the old school K-dramas, boys over flowers, playful kiss, flower boy next door, anything with flower in it. Hey, see, I like the flowers. The flower motif is in my artwork. I have a thing for flowers. I admit it. But any K-drama with the flower in the title is usually gonna be good. It's gonna be a classic. It's just something about the plot being so ridiculous, but the acting is extra as well, but something about it like grounds you because it seems like whenever there's like a modern romance story where the plot is kind of like crazy, the acting is also goofy. It's not even trying to play these characters as if they're real characters. Does that make sense? You can tell that they don't really take this story seriously. Seriously, what does that even mean? It's hard to describe, but I don't know. When you watch Boys Over Flowers, that main lead, she's putting her all in that character. She was going through it. And it's like romance stories, if they're gonna be playful nowadays, it's like they're way too playful. It's too goofy, it's too I don't know. And if they're not gonna be playful and they try to be super serious, mm-mm. Just stick to the romance. The last modern day romance show that I've been invested in would be the Bridgerton series, even though I did not. I didn't finish season three, and I feel bad about it because I was so excited for season three because it was like the main lead is like a plus size girl. Rarely get to see that in a romance story. You rarely get to see it done right, and you rarely get to see it at all. It was way different from the book. And I don't know, like after the actual TV show came out, I like reflected on the story of what's his name? Penelope and the other guy. I can't even remember his name. Their story in itself wasn't even that strong because it was like he overlooked her for a long time. TV show, he just showed up and was like, I like you now. And she was like, yay. And I was like, "Ah." And then they focused on the whole plot with her being whistled down. I was like, I don't care. I don't care. It seemed like they had a lot of like tension in their relationship after that with her being whistled down. It seems so. I didn't actually watch the rest of the season, but it's like, I don't want to watch that. In romance shows, for me, once they get together, I want to see them together, but I want to see them be together and be happy. It seems like writers really avoid that part of the romance story where they're together. It's like they feel like that would be boring, but it's not, it won't be boring as long as you know how to write it well to where you're focusing on the chemistry between the two characters. And I feel like people avoid that a lot in their writing. That could end up being the most interesting part of the story. I won't deny that it's probably really hard to write, but as long as they have really good dialogue and the actors have really good chemistry, but dialogue in TV shows and movies seems to be a dying art form. The dialogue be annoying me in some of these shows because I'm just like, one, nobody talks like that. I'm tired of the one-liners, and if you're gonna do it, make it good. You know, if you're going to create this world where people are talking in a way that real people do not speak, make it good, somewhat believable, interesting. For example, the Scott Pilgrim versus the World movie, the way that they speak with each other, the characters' dialogue is very offbeat and kind of awkward and weird, but it works because it's consistent and it's funny and it's interesting. Other shows where characters talk in a way that real life people don't talk, I think would be the Gilmore Girls, even though I haven't watched that in a long time. But since the show has had it's gone viral recently, I've seen some clips of it. I was an avid Gilmore Girls watcher when I was younger, and I think I don't think I could get into the show as an adult because the talking, the way that they talk kind of annoys me. Maybe that's not the best example because it isn't the worst. It's still is other aspects of the show being like the actual characters that annoy me more. Anything with Phoebe. What's her name? Phoebe. The show Crashing and the show Fleabag. Those shows, I don't know if I mentioned it before in something else that I recorded, but Dune and Sinners, definitely Dune was those movies that I've watched recently that just like inspired me and awakened like this fire inside me where I was like, oh, I want to be a real artist. I want to create. I want to tell stories in the way that these people tell stories. Fleabag and Crashing was also that for me. I have never seen. There's something about that show, like the way that she writes, the way that her characters behave. Like when on the first episodes, especially for Crashing, when I was watching, I was like, what is going on? Where is this plot going? Why are the characters behaving like this? But she made it work. She made it work. They spoke and they behaved in a way that kind of was like, huh? But it still felt grounded. It felt like these are real characters. And so essentially what I'm saying is I'm not against unrealistic, goofy characters, but you have to have some aspects to them that make them feel grounded. And the actor playing them has to have like that respect for the character to really give it their all and not just like, I'm playing a goofy character. I'm saying my one liner. I'm an avid superhero movie fan, but some of them latest ones, and I'm sure a lot of like Marvel fans know Marvel has some great movies, but also like the latest ones, I feel such an overwhelming sense of responsibility when I'm around somebody that's even like a few months younger than me. So especially if they're like a year or two younger than me, and it's so weird because we're like in set oftentimes like in the same class going for the same jobs. Like it's not that there's like a huge gap between us to where I should be in a different place in life, but I still feel like I'm older and I need to set some type of example. And when the person is literally just 3 years or 2 years younger than me, it's so silly, but I feel it intensely to the point where I'll be asking people's ages if I'm just hanging out amongst a group of people, trying to be like casual, like, oh, how old are you? How old are you? And if I found out I'm the oldest person in the room, I'm like, something in my head is like, if something happens, I need to like lock in. I need to be the responder. Meanwhile, I'm probably the least prepared person in the room if anything, whatever that thing may be, if anything happens, I'm I'm not gonna know what to do. I don't even have a license. I can't even ride a bike. I don't know what to do in the case of an emergency, but I feel that overwhelming pressure for no reason. I just feel that pressure. Oftentimes when I speak about the anxiety with getting older, persons think that automatically I'm worried about wrinkles or really that's it. They just think that I'm worried about looking older. And maybe there's a little bit of anxiety there. I won't act like I'm completely immune to that feeling, but less so that that's not really a huge worry for me. Like the main thing that I'm worried about in terms of getting older is like I feel like I should be reaching these certain milestones, these goals that I want to accomplish. Like I should have a house and a car and this specific job and just all these dreams and career goals that I have. It's like I feel like I'm running out of time, but I'm not. And I know that I'm not. But I have this timer on myself to accomplish those things. And I just have to like adjust the timeline basically. Because I can't just say, oh, if I haven't done it by this age, then it's a wrap. Because I'm not like just gonna give up. But adjusting the timeline is like easier said than done. It's a mental process that's very, I don't know, like nails on a chalkboard for me. Like, oh, maybe you're gonna get this done at a later age. And I hear all the advice about not setting like a specific date, but you kind of have to put a little bit of pressure on yourself and not just have everything up in the air. It's so weird because when I watch like these old dramas like Playful Kiss that have the romantic lead that's just so desperate and chasing after this one person, I relate to them so much. Like I feel like them, but like my other romantic lead is not a physical person. It's like all these dreams and goals that I have, which sounds like really stretching the metaphor. Kind of a weird analogy, but that's how it feels. And I feel like I need to be that ditzy and that delusional about the things that I want. Maybe that's the romanticizing your life thing that people talk about. Maybe that's the trick. I really want to get back to being delusional. I want to get back to being less cynical and serious. That's why I kind of like roll my eyes whenever I say serious. I think of the phrase serious artist. It's like what even is that? I feel like my definition of serious, I keep forming it based on other people's idea of serious. Like I just need to put that whole mindset behind me.